they aren't willing to put in the work necessary that they need to put in on the onset so that we can set things up for success and actually generate the results that they need.
Welcome back to another Digital Hunter. My name's Jay Hunt, Merged Media, and today on a special episode of the Digital Hunter, we have a special guest, Mr. David Louch.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Mr. David Louch is a partner at the business at Merged Media, as well as our customer success officer. Officer or director?
Let's go with officer.
Sure. CCO.
CCO.
So one of the most important things when we bring on a new client is that onboarding process. Immediately when a client signs up for anything, or if you purchase a product, you're going to have a moment of buyer's remorse. So this makes this onboarding process so critical to the lifespan of that client with our company. So David facilitates that process. So I wanted to get David in here to talk a little bit about the onboarding process at Merged Media. So firstly, David, maybe you can go over kind of what that process looks like when a client comes in the door for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. So typically, just a little bit of background, leading up to the onboarding process when I'm subbed in, the client has gone through the sales process. So at that point, they've already been educated on what exactly we're going to be doing for them, how it works, what they need, what's going to happen, everything like that. So it could be Facebook ads, it could be a new website, it could be Google ads, whatever it is. By the time they get to me, they understand what we're doing for them. So when they come to me, I will provide the client with a lengthy list of things that we need in order to do our job, get things set up, do our research to ensure that we know exactly what the business does, who their ideal client is, which ultimately is how we generate results for that business.
I don't think that do you find the clients usually learn a lot about their business on these calls?
I do. I think they learn a lot about themselves and about their business, maybe, who their ideal customer is, questions that they may have never been asked before and never really took the opportunity to actually write down or really think about. So yeah, I think that they learn a lot about their business, but it's also can be a difficult process for a business owner to go through if they haven't done that before. So the one thing that I want to communicate is typically some business owners will come to us and want to start a program and think that they come, they buy, and then it's kind of hands off and they don't really have to do too much. And I find that those are the clients that aren't as successful as they could be, or things don't start off maybe the best. And that's because they aren't willing to put in the work necessary that they need to put in on the onset so that we can set things up for success and actually generate the results that they need. For example, who's your actual ideal customer? We have ideas on who that might be and can suggest some things and go through a conversation, but at the end of the day, it's your business and you have to decide.
I think that's typically what happens. Usually when somebody purchases something, they don't want to do any work whatsoever.
Yeah.
They just want to be like, okay, I just paid you a monthly fee, go and do it. Well, we do need to be set on the right path for success, and that path starts with understanding the audience, proper line of communication, proper expectations. I think expectations is key. Can you think of any other challenges you have with that specific onboarding process?
Yeah, so challenges, the ideal target audience is always a bit of a sticking point, just because if the business owner doesn't know, it can be difficult to come up with that avatar. But also, a lot of business owners are afraid, like, oh, well, if I pick just males between this age group and this area, am I just losing out on all the other potential business that are not those people? And the answer is no. But what we want to do is we want to create multiple avatars of who your ideal customer is, because we don't want to get in front of the people that aren't going to buy from you and waste money on advertising to those people. So that would be the biggest point. Another major point of concern that we've talked about in the past is content. A lot of the businesses that we work with are small businesses and haven't invested the money or time into producing high quality content. And although we do that, it can help to have some already.
We can go out there and source all the stock photography we want, but people are now being numb to stock photography, and there needs to be an element of personalization in that content strategy, and a lot of that it helps to have those sort of assets provided to us up front, so we can really build out a strong social media campaign. Another challenge I can think of, and we've had these issues in the past, is when you have a salesperson. Even myself have been guilty of this, where you might be in a situation where you promise something but you can't deliver on it. And naturally that happens. We've become a little seasoned now. We've learned from our mistakes. But at the beginning of the company, it's like, yeah, sure, we can do this for you and get you this many followers. But so much with social media engagement and results is out of your control. You can only control so much. You can't have a definitive CPA, cost per action, or cost per click, because it always changes. But these type of things really set the bar, and it could create a really good experience or bad experience for that client, and that often happens with that transition from going to sales over to an account manager. So I think one of the things that we've learned and that we do really, really well is when we bring in a new client, there is a clear expectation that, hey, I'm the person that introduced you to the company, but David is much better than me at the job of making sure that you're getting results and making sure you're in a good position for success. So that's kind of the key, is when you bring in a client, you need to have them understand that you're an expert in bringing them in. You're bringing the horse in, but David's the one that's going to bring you in and actually provide you those results and get you in a position for success.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing I kind of want to communicate with the onboarding process is, for business owners, it's not the time to take a back seat. Just because you've now hired an agency and you're working with professionals from a marketing perspective, you still have to very much be involved. Maybe not as much as you would if you were doing it yourself, which is ideal because we're the experts and we're doing it for you. But you still have to play some sort of role in the entire process, so that you are generating the results that you want and the relationship is strong and we can continue for a long time. It's funny, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was at Canadian Tire and I was out front and I saw a tractor, and it was built. It showed the price on the tractor of whatever it was, a couple $1,000s, but then there was a separate tag on the tractor that said assembly fee, and then what that fee was. And that's kind of, when I saw that, I kind of thought of our service. You buy the tractor or you buy the service. We don't charge an assembly fee, but instead we work with the customer to build the tractor, or to set up the tractor, or in this case, the advertising campaign. It's very much how things work and how we do things here at Merged.
Awesome. So if you have any questions about our own onboarding process and getting a client into Merge, just get at us, reach out to us, leave a comment below, and we'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.